This Independence Day, we take a look at Tom Cruise saving the world from aliens, but in Europe, with a dash of Groundhog's Day and Edge of Tomorrow. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
Rachel's here, and we are all sitting in my living room, casual conversation style, on the 62nd episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So, Matt, I never thought this would be happening this year.
Neither did I.
Yeah. So we are in the same space recording a podcast. It's everything I could ever dream of, Matt. Like thousands of dollars spent on all this fucking equipment to not have to deal with Zoom, to just look at a person and not have to look at a screen. It's beautiful.
It's weird. I'm not used to seeing y'all whole bodies and everything else like that, and me wearing clothes.
Yeah, I'm not used to you wearing clothes either. I've seen that tattoo on your chest so many times.
Think about getting one for you?
I'm not sure about a chest tattoo. Maybe a face one, like
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, yeah. But yeah. So this is a bit of an adjustment. Every podcast I've recorded this month, I've recorded with a person in front of me. And I genuinely thought this week would be the week where I could just take a break, go back to my desk, chit chat. It's a lot. It's a lot having to look at people.
Hey, we could have done this. I could have done this from home.
I don't want to throw away an opportunity to just this is the dream right here.
We got to take advantage of now because, like you said, I don't know when this gonna happen again.
Right. When I come to Japan next year.
Right.
Yeah. But like I said, Rachel's actually, let's roll back for a second. I have to do some editing now because I fucked up. Do you want to talk about why you're here?
Yeah. I thought it's better to talk about it up front than later on. Yeah. I'm here visiting family. As you all listeners know, I had from last episode, Spiderhead, check that one out if you haven't. I had death in my family, and I am back to visit them, and during this mourning time, visit friends and family and stuff like that. So yes, it was unexpected. It's a sad way to come back, but it's good to be able to see family and friends and things of that nature.
Yes, you can jump in at any time, Rachel, but this is going to be a lot of Chad and Matt talk, so jump in where you feel appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, so I knew Matt was coming last week, and I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing you, dude. And so the day Matt returns, he has a layover, right? And it's 2 hours before he's supposed to be here. And he's like, hey, man, what you got going on tonight? And I was like, just chill city for me. And he said, okay. Let me just stop playing. Can you pick me up from the airport?
Right, because I was at first I was like, do I need to? It's nah, let me just beat around the bush. I need somebody to pick me up because my previous person who was going to pick me up got COVID. So I was like, I need somebody. And I didn't want to just jump out the window and be like, hey, Chad, pick me up from the airport. I was like, what you got planned and everything? But I was like, nah, time's a ticket. I got to get on this plane. I need somebody to be there for me.
Got to be a little considerate. I got you.
Right, see?
But yeah, I got you. I mean, 2 hours notice. I'm like, God damn, but I got you, man.
Well, plus, I know you don't live far away from it, so it's not like you drove an hour to get to the airport.
I couldn't remember if you remember where I lived.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I would, but it's going to take me 2 hours. I'm like, no.
No, I know the truth there.
But it's funny because right after he picked me up, we stepped outside and I was like, oh, I'm back home in St. Louis.
What does that mean, Matt?
That means the flowers were strong in this area.
Okay.
The pollen is strong this year.
No, not that kind of pollen. That kind of flowers. The other, the
3-leaf clover.
Yes, the 3-leaf clover, the medicinal flowers. I was like, I'm home.
It's funny. That's not technically, legal for all in this state. I mean,
maybe that person had the medical card.
I just said, if you go next door to our neighbors in, Illinois, just go on right over to the dispensary, show that state ID, and keep it moving.
Right.
But yeah. So Rachel, how has it been meeting Matt?
It's been good, putting a whole person to the face and the voice. So that's been nice. And, just hanging out and getting a chance to say hi outside of podcast stuff.
That's the same thing, because first time I met Rachel I thought, oh, she does sound like that. She's not putting that on for the podcast.
Oh, that's her podcast voice.
Her podcast voice, right.
Yeah.
That is her actual voice. So I was like, oh, okay.
Have we gotten guest feedback about that?
They love it. They love Rachel's
Really?
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like multiple people have commented they love your voice.
That's funny.
Now, to be honest, it's been mostly dudes. And so,
Oh, okay.
Well, also, my mother, too.
Oh, okay.
My mother says.
And your wife. She
Oh, yeah, and
came
my
in the
wife,
room
yeah.
At the end
Yeah,
and
see?
was like, I really like your voice.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, man. What have you been up to, Rachel? How's it been going, lady? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it's been busy.
Actually, that's a lie. You recorded like the first episode of this month.
Yeah, that's true. But it feels like it's been a minute.
Yeah. Oh, I want to throw this out there, even though I'm throwing off the flow. So I did some mental math. This is your 7th episode. Because you did the first one with Adam Sandler movie. And the second
Eight
one
Crazy
was
Nights.
top 5 of 2020 and 2021. The third one was the boy band kind. Then you did the bonus episode with me on Unbearable Talent. And then you did the other bonus episode with me for the Black Phone. And then you did, what was the last movie we did?
Oh my gosh.
Last
I'm
one,
totally
last week's?
blanking.
No, the one with Rachel. We did it like 3 weeks ago. Cause
Why am I blanking on this?
yeah, we watched too many movies.
Right, all this stuff. Somebody just mentioned that to me the other day. They was like, how do you have time to watch all these movies and stuff? And I was like, I don't know, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That one.
Oh, yeah.
That was your 6th, and this is your 7th.
So am I in first place?
You are. So you're
Yes.
in 7th. Laurent has 6, I think. He has 5 or 6. And then I think he has 5. Josh has 5. And so Matt and I were talking about this. And whomever gets to 10 episodes first gets to pick the episode. And I won't be mad.
But kind of.
No, I'll be low key angry. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, when you get to 9, it's gonna be a long time before I let you do that 10th episode.
Be like, I'm like, we need a guest. Who about Ray? I think she's busy that day.
Yeah, like, So, it's Hanukkah coming up. We need to, do we know any other Jewish people?
Right. Come on, we gotta come up with something.
But what you been up to, Rachel?
So yeah, it's been kind of busy actually. My parents have been out of town, so I hung out with my grandma.
You've been at their house? It's been house party?
Not exactly. Just checking up on the place, make sure it's still standing.
You've been stealing fucking pottery and shit, haven't you? The good china?
No,
Pawning that shit?
have not.
Not yet.
Not
You just
yet.
want to at least go and get some food.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
what I do
back
if my
yet.
parents went home. I go straight to their fridge to grab some food and leave.
It doesn't make sense for them to have food if they're
Yeah.
gone.
No, sometimes they do have food when they're leaving, and they're like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Yes, awesome, thank you." But this time was not the case.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
So yeah, I hung out with my grandma. We went to her apartment little music show, and then worked on a puzzle back at her place. And then the next day I went to Shakespeare in the Park, which for those of you who don't know, in St. Louis in Forest Park, they put on a free Shakespeare show every summer, and you can bring chairs and blankets and sit out and enjoy a Shakespeare show. But I brought a blanket this time because that's what I'm used to doing, but I haven't really been to Shakespeare in the Park since high school. And I'm like, next time I'm bringing chairs. I could not do the blanket.
You sitting on the ground like a fucking
Hobo?
right.
I
A
mean,
homeless person?
Right.
on a
Yuck.
blanket, but I was like, my back hurt after.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to bring a chair next time.
How long is the show?
It was a couple hours.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
you need a
fuck
chair.
that.
Yeah, you need a chair.
Yeah, I could not get comfortable. It was a great show, though. It was really funny. It was Much Ado About Nothing. So
What's that one about?
it's like a romantic comedy. There's this guy and this girl, and they like each other, but they broke up, and so they're kind of now, not really into each other anymore, but their friends and family members kind of set it up to where they say, oh, he still loves you or she still loves you, but they do it when they think that the person can't hear, but they know they can.
Okay.
So it's kind of like setting them back up to get together again, but in a funny way. In a fun and funny way.
Wow, there's a movie about this with a star-studded.
Is that the one with Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington, Keanu Reeves, Michael Keaton, Emma Thompson.
Fucking Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh, yeah.
He's done a lot of Shakespeare.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's when they were married.
I think so.
But that's why he got to direct that first Thor movie. They was like, oh yeah, this some Shakespeare shit, but with superpowers and a hammer.
Oh, wow.
Basically.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. So I see you adjusting that microphone arm, Matt, and it's like I do that so fucking much when I'm like at my desk.
And the thing is, I don't even know why I'm doing it. I guess because it's just
It's
in my
something
face.
to do.
It's just something to do. All I'm doing is just pushing it back and pushing it back forward.
Yeah, like I'm always adjusting it, and it's like that very first time we recorded with Amy. That's when I used a microphone stand. And like I kept fiddling with it, and when I was editing, like I could hear that. I'm like,
all right, then I try not to.
no.
This one's good.
Well, actually, that's not, because like what I usually do is when I'm fucking with the microphone arm, like we're on Zoom, so like I could easily like mute my shit.
Oh.
But like if you're adjusting it and talking, but play with it as you will. This is a raw at home. I'm looking at y'all and not the time, so like I'm rambling. Like this is a whole new thing to adjust to.
Keep it going.
It's that content that they kind of love.
They've been wanting.
Sort of, yeah. That raw and uncut gems. What else you got for us, Rachel?
Well, today was really busy too. Just to remind everyone, I'm a social worker, and part of my job is to run over, take things to clients or take clients to viewings at apartments and stuff like that. And had a little mishap with the client in my car today. We went to the viewing. We were driving back. She was talking about some of her medical issues, and she kind of said how her bladder control isn't the best anymore, and especially when she sneezes. And then she proceeded to sneeze twice.
So it
sitting
was like
in the passenger seat of my car.
She knew it was going to happen. She was just giving you a heads up. Hey, it happens from time to time.
I guess so. This is the first time I met her. I've only talked with her on the phone, and even then, not very much. So when she got up, it was kind of saw some spots on the seat, and I was like, I am changing my plans today. I am getting this seat taken care of.
Where did you go?
I ended up at the dealership because the car wash that I called, they don't clean the seats.
Okay.
So, and I was like running out of options. I was like, I have no idea who else to call, so I'm just going to call the dealership. Hopefully they have a recommendation for me, but then they just ended up doing it. So, of course, I probably paid way too much for it.
You don't know how much money you paid?
Oh, no. I do. I just don't know how much it would be at a different place.
Can you tell us how much you paid?
$100.
What the fuck?
For one chair to be detailed.
Rachel, you could have gave me $30 and me and Matt would have went out there with some Febreze.
Yeah, but this was, they like sucked everything out of the seat and then cleaned it, and like it was biohazard, so that made it more. Yeah, I don't know, but it's a very, very, very clean seat now.
Pee is biohazard now?
It is.
I guess so.
It's bodily fluids.
I mean, that pee could have COVID in it. You don't know.
Right.
True.
I've been on my Seinfeld watching, and every time something happens in real life, it always reflects from Seinfeld, and that just reminds me of the time where the guy peed on Jerry's couch.
Oh
and
yeah,
he flipped over
Pappy.
Yeah, Poppy, Poppy, and he flipped over the seat cushion, and then ended up selling the couch to George. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Well,
that was a classic show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a first for me. Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't peed on themselves before?
I mean, it's been a minute since I have.
Sometimes some trickles come out when you laughing or sneezing.
I mean, and she's an elderly lady,
Right, so things like
things
that
happen.
Right.
I'll tell you guys something like very personal. This was back in middle school, and I remember I was like being an asshole, as I seldom am. And I made a joke about something, and like I remember this girl, she like grabbed me by the shoulder and like pushed me down into a seat, and like the moment my butt hit that seat, some poop came out. It was.
Oh no.
Thankfully, I had like 20-ish minutes left before the end of the day. And so, like, I sat, I cleaned what I could. But, yeah, I had a very nice shower when I got home. Thankfully, it was at the end of the school day.
The question I have is, like, what did it? Being forcefully pushed down made it come out?
Yeah. Because I'm sure, like, I was, like, brewing a little something. It probably would have been good to go in about 30, 40 minutes. But, like, nah.
That escalated the top.
Yes, it did.
He's like, uh-oh.
Ooh, well, I didn't even have time to say uh-oh. It's out. It's a boy. So what about you, Matt? How have you been, man?
I'm good. I took a 2.5 hour bus ride then I took a 2 hour-ish, 1 hour, 45 minutes from Fukuoka to Tokyo. Then I took a 12-hour plane ride from Tokyo to Detroit, and then around a 2.5 hour ride from Detroit to St. Louis. I hate fucking flying. I hate everything about the process of flying. I hate checking bags. I hate standing in line for a ticket. I hate going through security. I hate being around people. I hate flying, taking off, turbulence. Everything that has to do with flying, I hate.
So, did you feel this way before COVID?
Yes. I hate flying, period. I would do it, but I don't like it. I'm not having a good time up there. I am being content. I'm trying to survive, but I do not like it.
Now, granted, I haven't had as long as a travel day as you since, everything you had to go through. But I like airport time. I like sitting in the airport doing a layover as I'm waiting on my flight. Got my big headphones on, noise canceling the world. Reading a comic book and just like, yes, I feel important.
I hate that. I hate waiting. And this is just in general I hate waiting for anything.
Oh, I know. Right. I remember all that stuff like Black Friday. Who's trying to stand in line for that?
Right. I told you a story about going to Wendy's and the line was long. I was like, let's go somewhere else.
And yet you're still waiting.
Huh?
And yet
I still waited. Yeah, because she ordered all that. That's another story for another day. But yeah, but I hate everything about that, getting through your tickets and everything like that. But hey, it's a means to an end. So I do it all the time, but I ain't enjoying it. But the good thing is you try to be as comfortable as possible. So I already had my seats, but then I met a guy on the bus and he explained that, hey, if you go to the airline app and you can like pick your seats and stuff like that. So I saw what seats I were in. I was in the middle seat for that 12-hour flight, and I was like, oh no, I need to change that. So then I changed it to emergency exit row with some leg room, and that was so much better. So there was nobody next to me. It was enjoyable. But whenever you do fly, hopefully I'll make good enough money to where Oh, so the flight attendants, they're doing the exit rows, this and that. And they were like, oh, so your flotation device is under your seat. And they were like, and for the people with the suite doors with the suites on it, your life jacket is under this thing. And I was like, wait, suites and doors? And I realized that's first class. And
Are you sure it's not business class?
nah, because the thing I realized is when you get on the airplane, first class goes this way, everybody else goes this way when you board. So, because they don't want us commoners to see how the rich and famous are living, so we're gonna be mean mugging them as we walk down there. So, but when we get out, everybody gets out at the same time. But I was like, they got a sweet door in there. I was like, maybe if I flew first class, I might like flying.
Business class is the way to go.
Business class?
I've never done it before, but I know like on international flights, they have like these pod things that you're in. Like you've seen more recent not recent, but like you've seen like Star Wars where like Darth Vader's in his little egg thingy.
Mm-hmm.
They got shit like that where like the seat, it actually goes all the way flat like for a bed, and you got like leg room because you're like, you're your own business. You need to be able to use your laptop and all this shit. Like business class is the way to go. That's just like $3,000 and I've never done it. But like as I walk through to pass it to exit the plane, I'm like, God damn. Like they get in like Bose headphones.
Right. And we get the
fucking disposable shit. Little earbuds.
Where they already connect, you got to peel them off like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing is they had nice movies and everything on there. They was good on their movies and stuff.
What you watch on the plane?
What did I watch? I remember the last movie I watched right before it was off. I watched Bad Boys. But before that I watched Death on the Nile.
Oh,
I didn't see that one.
I did. How'd you like it?
I liked it. It was good. I was like, this person done it. I was like, and then it wasn't that person. And I was like, oh no, this person done it. And then once they revealed it was, I was like, I knew it was that person the whole time. It makes sense.
I'm a detective guy.
Right. So it was good. I liked it. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of being a detective, I watched this show on Netflix called Murderville. And basically Will Arnett is a detective, and he has all these guest stars come in as his training partner, and it's really funny.
He has celebrities come on as their guests, and those people are real. So Will Arnett is not playing himself.
He's playing a character.
Yeah, he's playing
the detective.
But the guests don't come on with a script, so they're just
right.
winging it the whole time, and then they have to decide who's the murderer in the end.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
So who was the first guest? The first episode? Do you see the Marshawn Lynch one?
Yes. Yeah. I've seen them all. Okay. And I thought they were... One person I think took it more seriously than the others, and I didn't enjoy it as much.
Who was that?
But Sharon Stone.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
What the fuck's she doing on there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she was good on it, but I just think she took it really seriously, and it was more hilarious to me with like Annie Murphy or some of the other ones where they were like cracking up because the things were so ridiculous and they were trying to stay in character, but they couldn't. And it's
a good one.
Okay. So should I check it out?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I won't, but I hear you. Yeah, I know how I am. Like we're gonna get to on my segment. I'm gonna tell y'all what I've been up to, and Matt gonna be mad at me. I'm just gonna say that right now. You got anything else, Matt?
Yes. You guys are both employed, so
we do a little bit.
So you work at your place of employment. We'll say 20 plus years, right? During those 20 plus years, you never missed a day of work. So I don't know what company you work for or anything like that, but just in your mind, you never missed a day of work 20 plus years, and they come to celebrate that. In your mind, what do you think they should give you?
Vacation days.
Okay, vacation days. Chad, what do you think they should give you?
we work for a similar industry, if you will, Matt. They have like chain of command is not the right word, but they have like regulation. They do certain things for how much time you are at as an employee. Like for so many years, you get like you get a certificate for like what 5, 15, some
5, 10, 15, yeah.
Don't we get watches or something?
At 20,
Something
25,
like
something like that, you do get a watch or something like that.
Standardized is the way is what I'm trying to think of. They have standardized like ways to appreciate employees. But 20 years, I would want like a plaque or something.
Okay. Those all
Just a plaque?
I said or something.
You've never missed a day in 20 years. Wouldn't you want more than a plaque?
I would want something that they spent money on.
Okay, that's fair.
You wouldn't want something that they just like had in storage, right?
I wouldn't want something that someone literally took off of their desk and put in a bag.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying those words specifically because I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, for the people at home, Kevin Ford worked at Burger King in the Las Vegas McCarran International Airport for 27 years without missing a day. This is what Burger King gave him: a Starbucks cup, some candy, and a single movie ticket in a clear plastic backpack from the Burger chain's parent company, HMS Host, to show his appreciation for his years of service. Let me repeat that: a Starbucks cup, some candy, and a single movie ticket in a clear plastic backpack. That's what he got for never missing a day for 27 years. So that's what happened. And then once the video was out, his daughter put up a GoFundMe, and she said, I want to read this because the way she worded it I like the way she worded it. In no way are we asking for money or is he expecting any money, but if anyone feels like blessing him, he would love to visit his grandchildren. Now, as of this article, they raised $199,000 for this man.
I'm sure that's more than he ever made at Burger King in those 20 years.
But then Burger King did put out a statement, though. Burger King said, or let me tell you back what he said. He's like, I've been crying about this for 2 days now. It's just incredible. I just go to work and try to have fun and laugh and make other people's day good. It's like I've been in a dream for almost 2 days now. It's beautiful and awesome. It really is. So Burger King issued a statement saying that the company is committed to recognizing achievements of its employees, and the gift that Mr. Ford received was a reward and recognition of a short-term positive performance/experience. So it says the company also says they offer team members a robust employee recognition program, which includes milestones and monetary awards. So with that being said, they said they do offer that. They didn't say they offered him that. So maybe 27 is not the year. Maybe it's at 30 when they do it. But that's just crazy.
I'm just saying that to save face.
Right, because I don't think I've worked at any job where I did not miss a day. Because my model is they give you leave to use. You need to use it.
Yeah, I'm with that. It's like, it's just some days I don't feel like putting up with that foolishness. And so I need to take a mental health day, if you will.
Right.
Now, there are people that don't believe in that. We have a mutual friend, Matt, that I actually ran into this person last week. We got dinner. But that person wholeheartedly believes in like working until you pass out.
Yeah.
At our former employer that we worked at together, this individual that we have like annual awards. So like person that's worked the most overtime, person that, well, we have like things that are facts and then things that you vote for. So person that's worked the most overtime, person with the highest amount of like sick leave, person, what did I win? Like most go-to person.
Yes.
I won that one year. I was very proud of it. those were the good years when I was, I had the popular vote, before, I
Those filibusters.
yeah, fucking politics, right? But so this individual, like, several years in a row, still has it. Most unused sick leave. And it's like, what are you doing? Use that time off. This person hates taking off work. And it's like, why? Like, if you die tomorrow,
Your position gonna be announced that day.
correct.
So
They will get somebody to temporarily fill in. Like, the moment, like, your next of kin says, hey, so and so passed away, when they get off that phone call, they're gonna type up an email saying who wants to temporarily sit in this position until we figure some stuff out.
yep. So you need to take it when you can.
You really do. Like, enjoy yourself. Like, work. Life is not about work. Life is about enjoying yourself, enjoying time with others, spending thousands of dollars on a podcast so you can bullshit with your friends. The little things.
Spend $1,000 for a ticket to bullshit with your friends on a podcast.
Exactly.
There you go.
Spending $11.49 on a St. Louis Bread Company salad.
It was nice. It had strawberries in it. It looked nice, I should say.
It's like one of my favorite salads.
Was that seasonal summer salad?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It's called like strawberry poppy seed salad. Yeah.
You hear that?
Speaking of Seinfeld, when Elaine ate a poppy seed bagel, she popped positive for opium on her drug test.
So is Rachel about to fail a drug test?
Hopefully they don't do drug tests at her place of employment.
Not that I know of.
Well, you might want to know. I don't know how you like the party, Rachel. Just saying. So this past weekend was my daughter's 2nd birthday, and I meant to listen to the podcast from last year to see if I actually brought it up, like her first birthday, and how much of a catastrophe that shit was. Rachel, you listened to the show. Did I talk about that?
I don't remember.
Off air, have I told you about that?
No.
Okay. So last year, Samantha and I never believed in like a 1-year-old should have a birthday party. We always felt like a 1-year-old having a birthday party is more about the parents than the kid and like who's got time and money for that. But the reason we had a party for our daughter was because she's a COVID baby. Out of all of her family, like 4 people have met her. 7. Like her sister, brother-in-law, 2 nephews, my mom and grandmother. That's 6. But you get what I'm saying. Like, we have all this other family here, and none of them have met her because of COVID. So we spent money, and we reserved area in a park, and we sent invites, and all these people said they were coming. We had a Facebook group and stuff. Matt even said he was going to come through. I was like, bet. But we got a fraction of the people show up that actually said they would, and we spent a lot of fucking money. This year, we were like, I was like, I'm not spending any fucking money on a party for her. And Samantha was like, neither the fuck am I. But my mom was like, I want my baby girl to have a party. And I was like, okay. So to start, she was like, oh, we should take her to Dave and Buster's and she'll play all these games. And I'm like, she's turning 2.
Yeah, she ain't 14.
Right. Like, I don't know what you think she'll about to do, but that
she'll
ain't
be
it.
in the basketball like this.
Right.
She'll be shooting pool.
she'll be at skeet ball.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I talked her down to Chuck E. Cheese. And I was like, okay. So she wanted to reserve a space and all this. And I was like, I don't think you should do that. Like, she's still 2. And I can't say how long she's going to like actually want to be there. So I don't want you to spend like $100 or however much it is to reserve space for her to go like have a fit. And then we have to leave abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, okay, so we'll just go get a table or whatever, like, the public area, and just hunker down. And so she invited like a few family members, like my one cousin has a son, and like her sister, my cousin Bree, who's been on the show before, and like my cousin Vera and her mom, and then my mom's brother's wife and son. So, I get there along with my mother, grandmother, and my daughter. We're there first. And I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese in probably like 25, 30 years. It is not what I remember. And I'm not talking about how like Chuck E. Cheese himself like is like super skinny now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how like if you recall, like have either of you gone to Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz as a kid?
Yes.
I went as a kid, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going now, that's fucked up, Rachel. I know you sound young, but that's not okay.
What they say is the pizza's still fire to this day.
I didn't touch any of the food because do you guys remember that controversy a few years ago where they were saying like Chuck E. Cheese gives you used pizza?
What?
Oh.
They give you used
Did you
pizza?
not hear that, Rachel?
I feel like I would have remembered that.
So a YouTuber was he ordered a pizza and like a whole pizza. And the pieces didn't line up together. They didn't make a complete circle.
Oh, so it's like red up pieces. There's like, let's make a circle.
Right,
Let's
right.
put this in there.
And so like Chuck E. Cheese came out and said like the way in which they cut the pizza, it comes out weird, but it's like that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
So, but yeah. So no, I haven't touched the pizza.
Now, I'm kind of curious. Now I want to go. I want to see what kind of pizza I get now.
Do we need to? I mean, I didn't pay any attention to the pizza because I wasn't thinking about that when we were there. But do we need to? We'll get my daughter, so
Right.
it's not weird.
Right.
Do we need to do some investigative journalism?
Right. Because there was like the thing for like that pizza was really good. That like people go to like there's people who go to Chuck E. Cheese, get the pizza and leave like it's a Pizza Hut type of thing.
You can order it off of like Grubhub or whatever those apps are, the food apps.
Right. Yeah. So I know now. I haven't had it since 2000.
Oh yeah, because you have a son.
Yeah. So like we've been there. Cause what Chuck E. Cheese you go to? The one off
St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one last time I went to was for my son, and I don't remember if we ate pizza. I don't think we ate pizza, but that's what I hear here. Their pizza's good.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go back then. So anyway, it's not like how it was when we were younger, where like I remember they had ball pits and tubes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's just a room full of games you gotta pay for.
Yeah, it's a kid Dave and Buster's.
Right, but my thing is like I have a 2-year-old. What is she about to do? So like this isn't what I thought this was. And so like I'm walking around, I'm like, okay, maybe she's gonna want to sit on my lap and do like a driving game, but she's like, what is a steering wheel?
Right.
Right. And so like we're walking around, they had like little rides that she could be on. Like there was like a little train she could sit in, but she's like, okay, I'm sitting. But my daughter, who I feel like when she grows up, she's gonna be really into like roller coasters. There's like this ride where you got to go up these like narrow ass steps. And then it's like you're on the back of a horse and you're supposed to snap in, but like the way it dips, it almost feels like a roller coaster. She was eating that shit up. And so she kept wanting to go up the steps and then ride on the dipping thing. So like overall it turned out to be a good time, but I was just like, what the fuck is she supposed to do up in here?
I know they don't make this place anymore. Well, they don't make this place anymore. I know it's closed, like Discovery Zone.
Oh my God.
So like there's no Discovery Zones these days for kids. Wait, you know, Rachel, you know what Discovery Zone is?
No.
It was this place when we was kids where whatever you wanted to do as a kid, they had it there.
Yeah,
It
so
was-
basically they had the ball pit, they had the tubes. There was like an area where you could do some bouncing.
yeah.
Yeah. And a very small area for games.
Yeah, it was
Very
more,
small.
You're coming in there, you're going to be burning some energy as a kid. Yeah.
Have you heard, have either of you heard, and then this is more for Matt because you have a child, Monkey Joe's?
Yeah, he been there.
So is,
Oh, wait, Monkey Joe's? No, I was thinking Kokomo Joe's.
I've never heard of that. So like,
Right off of, 7, is it Monkey Joe's or Kokomo Joe's? It's an amusement thing, right?
kind of. So it's like, it's in a building. And they have like, it's like the cheapest shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. It like feels like real like bootleg. Like you go in there and they've got like inflatable shit. So like, you know how like if you have money and you hire like an inflatable bouncy castle,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. We've been there.
Yeah, and I was like, That's the closest thing I can think of to like something akin to when we were kids, but like that shit looks bootleg as fuck. Didn't care for it. But I went when I didn't have a kid, so all the judgment was out. My kid would probably love that bullshit.
Wait, so did they have the floor show at Chuck E. Cheese still?
So, fun story, Rachel. These are tight times, and some time ago, they laid off the band. It was Electric Lights band or something like that. So,
Oh no, I'm just saying like when after all these years, when you make big time, when you go big time, you forget the little people. So it's just Chuck E. Cheese now. He don't got his friends. Just like Ronald McDonald, he used to have the Hamburglar,
Grimace.
Yeah.
Grimace, but once you make it to the top, you don't need your friends no more. So they cut all of them loose too. So
Chuck E. Cheese got too famous.
got too big. He was like, huh, they're coming to see me. They not coming to see y'all. So had to cut them loose.
I was trying to find the name of the band, the Make Believe band. That shit don't sound right.
Make believe.
Right. No,
Because I remember they had that going on loop.
Right,
like,
the little on the stage, like the little
yeah.
animatronic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would sit and eat and watch the show.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if your daughter would like that, but
yeah, I kept her away from like the person walking around as Chuck E. Cheese, as well as like there's one Chuck E. animatronic, like all the way in the back, like where he's like attached to like the wall or whatever, like moving, and I like we not walking over here. Yeah. I don't know how you're gonna react to this, but no, we're having a good time, and I'm not trying to push it. Yeah, man, and also I went back to the office. So as of right now, we have to go back once a week, and I tell you what, I fucking hate being around people. I fucking hate it. Like, I'm over here, got my big headphones on, just, trying to grind, do my thing, and people talking to me.
They haven't seen you in so long, so they want to catch up. They want to see how you been living.
That's the thing. I can't remember half these people's names, to be honest. So they walking up to me like, "Hey, Chad, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, girl.
Right.
what you been up to, girl? Hey." And it's like... So this was kind of funny. They walk around every day like whatever supervisor's on duty, and they're over here like taking attendance like we back in school, because like it was made very clear to us that this is your day to be in the office, right? And it's not a situation where like, oh man, my day to be in the office is Tuesday. I don't feel well Tuesday, so I'm just going to come in on Wednesday. Like, you have to come in on Tuesday. That is your day to be in. And people are just like straight up just not coming into the office on their day in, but they're still working from home. So like, if you look on chat, they're green, and we're wearing masks, and it's been like 2 years since we've been in the office. And like, there's been like promotions and all this stuff. So nobody knows what anybody looks like.
Right.
And so it's like, oh man, is Chad here? Is that him over there?
Right.
I never met him before.
Right. Could be him.
So now we taking attendance. I'm like, what is this system we have here, guys?
He be like, Chad, here.
Right. So yeah, it's an adjustment. And also, like, I never had good service at work. And so like, I can get my I can stream music okay-ish, but like, you guys chat with me a lot. I love sending gifts. And so like, somebody be saying something to me, and I type some words and then put a gif, and then like the words are there, but it's still trying to upload the gif, and like the conversation is still going while my gif is still trying to upload. So I'm like, it's not about to be relevant once this hit.
It'd be like that. I understand. I understand the feelings on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate my work Wi-Fi.
Anyway, so the last week and a half, I watched 65 episodes and 7 seasons of Veep. I finished it.
Wow.
I'm gonna put this right out here now. I know I haven't finished Abbott Elementary, Matt. I know, but
you wanna. So you just say fuck Quentin Brunson, but you wanna fuck with Elaine Bennis?
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny fucking show, honestly. Like, I'm gonna do some light spoilers here. So, like, the show aired from 2012 to 2019, and it started off. I'm like, this is fun. This is like it. I'm not saying it's consistently funny, but every episode had some stuff where I was just like laughing out loud. Like it's that preposterous. And it started off like, this is like, this ain't like politics today. I tell you what, like watching those early seasons. But like as the series goes on, and I feel like I can't remember if I kept this in the episode last week, where I was like, there was a moment where like she did something really dark, but like her character has got like worse and worse as the series went on, to where like by like the series finale, like she turns into something like at the level of Trump.
Basically, so like every politician then.
Yes. Like, so like for that, like, and like the thing is like you don't really, like it's like small little things that eventually when we get to the end of the series, like it adds up. Like the things that she's willing to do and compromise about herself, and like the people that she's willing to like hurt by the end of the series, like it all makes sense. It's like, it's not like it feels like, oh man, the things like, how I know neither one of you finished Game of Thrones, but like one of the complaints.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I never knew you even watched that show, Rachel. Like, I'm always learning things about you. Did you know that Rachel was into Doctor Who?
I did not know that. I know you're into Doctor Who.
I learned that about her like a month ago. And I've known Rachel for a nice minute. Okay. I didn't know that about you. So, one of the complaints about Game of Thrones is like, one of the main characters, if people said it felt like she had like such a change in her attitude towards a lot of things, like abruptly. And
which character is this?
Daenerys, Mother of Dragons, Khaleesi.
Yes, I know who that is.
But in this show, it's like she's like a fucking terrible person she's a terrible person throughout the series. But like if you really think about like how she was like at the beginning of the series, and you think about what she did by the end of the series, it doesn't surprise you, because like the only reason she wasn't as bad as she was at the beginning of the series is because she was vice president and she had no power. But like as the series goes on and things happen and she makes deals, and eventually she does become president, and it's just like it's fucking terrible the shit she's doing. It's like, example, she's running for.
Is this a comedy?
Yes. But it's like how they even say this on the show, like you put sugar on the medicine to make it go down. Because it's all commentary on American politics and how, like, they aren't doing anything. They know they aren't doing anything, and they aren't going to do anything.
Right.
And so, like, in the last season, she's running for re-election. And there's an up-and-coming, like, black politician that's, like, people, like, fucking loving. And she's in North Carolina trying to win the primary there. And she goes to like a black, like, so she's a politician that's been in the game for like a long time. Like she was a senator for a while, and then she was vice president and all this shit. So like when she first ran, she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to this black church because like the pastor that loves me. But now his son is leading the church, and he's like, she was like, your dad said I'm the blackest white lady you've ever met. And like the way she said that just felt cringe. And she said that to him, he's like, okay. And so he's like, yeah, we got a black woman running, so you know what we're about to do. And so she's like, okay, I need to get white voters. And so they talked about this like at a meeting before she went to the church. She did some dog whistling at the black church. And like it's funny because it's like, I can't believe you're doing this, but like it's also not funny because like I can see white politicians doing this.
Right.
And so it's like she's doing like fucked up shit like that. And it's like, this is funny in the moment, but if you add everything up that she's been doing, she's a fucking terrible person. But it's like genuinely one of the best written shows I've seen in some time.
So
you haven't seen all of Abbott Elementary?
No, I know. I will get on it. I'm about halfway through the season. I'm gonna get it. Adjust that how you will, man. Adjust that microphone how you will. But yeah, man, it's a wild fucking show. It's funny, and by the end of the series, like they're just like, we're going for broke. And apparently, she got Julia, she got like cancer like in season 6. I did not know she had cancer. I think
No.
breast cancer, one of the cancers. But she still like the quality of the show stayed consistent those last 2 seasons.
So would you recommend
I
it?
would highly recommend this show, but just know you are going to hate every single character, but it's still a very funny show. Last thing real quick, I read a book, guys. It's not something I do often. It's called The Girl in the Library by Solari Gentile, an Australian woman. It is essentially a book within a book. So the author's writing this book about this Australian woman. She's in Boston, and she's in a quiet room in the library, and they hear a scream, and she's in the room with like 3 other people. And the first chapter ends with one of these people killed that woman, and so like you're just trying to figure out who did it, and like it's also a book, so it's like at the end of each chapter she's getting notes from her editor on how like the book could be better, or like, hey, you're Australian, so like we don't say the XYZ in America.
Yeah.
And so like as each chapter ends, the editor keeps inserting himself more and more into the story, as in like, you know, I think that so and so committed the crime, so you should stop doing XYZ. Like, this is how I want you to write the book.
Mm-hmm.
Until like by the end of the book, he like becomes her stalker. Overall, it's good, but like that stuff with the editor was not needed, in my opinion.
So just her writing a story about the murder would have been fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd recommend it. Yeah, so before we get to the movie, I can't believe we're just an hour in and we've been going off the rails a lot. I was on the old Tickety Talk this morning, and I saw that apparently they're doing a series of what if comic books, but with Miles Morales. So like, what if Miles were Captain America, or what if Miles were the Hulk, or what if Miles were Wolverine? Before we actually talk about what we're going to talk about, I saw a YouTube video on what if Miles were Wolverine. And I felt like it started out very interestingly. Did you guys hear about the kidnappings of black children in Atlanta in the 80s?
Yes. That was on an episode of Atlanta. They talked about that.
Okay, there's also a really good documentary on HBO about it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the name of it now, but it was like maybe 3 or 4 parts. It was super interesting.
Yeah, like I didn't know about none of that
Same.
until if I remember correctly, they did. If it was it Atlanta? Some show talked about it, and that's when I found out that these kids were missing and stuff like through the 80s, and I never knew that.
So like that, what if Miles were Wolverine? It starts off like that. Like he's like, they're saying that happened in that Marvel universe, but they were experimenting on the kids, like doing the Weapons X programs on those kids. So some of them died, some of them didn't, and Miles was like one that survived, and he was like Weapon X.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of interesting. But what we're going to talk about today is what if Miles Morales were Thor? And this is super fucking controversial, and for once we are on top of the news.
Won't be late on it.
Yeah. So we all read this comic book, right?
Yes.
Or I guess before, you should let them know, why are people upset?
So people are upset because they're saying that this comic book is extremely stereotypical. This was not written by a black person. So we all know. What is your familiarity with Miles Morales, Rachel?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I started Into the Spider-Verse when I was at work, when I worked with kids. And as you know, I don't really count watching movies with them because I can't pay attention like I want to. So I never got to finish that.
Okay.
It's a great movie. I love that movie.
It's excellent.
I thought it was amazing when I saw it at work. I'm like, how are the kids not paying attention to this?
They already saw that shit, all right?
Yeah.
So Miles Morales is a black and Latino character. He is not Peter Parker. He is like someone else that was bitten by a radioactive spider. So like misconception is that people look at him as the black Spider-Man, but he's black and Latino. So this was written by a Jewish man that is Latino. Can you say this name, Rachel?
Yehudi Mercado.
Yeah, I was gonna fuck that up. That's why I asked you to say it. So that's the person that wrote it. He is not black, but he is Latino. But he leaned in very hard on the black stuff, and I don't feel like that stuff was appropriate as a black person. But I would like to know your thoughts on this as a Jewish person.
I mean, there was no Jewish content in it.
The person that wrote it was Jewish. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying I don't think the fact that he's Jewish really contributed to the story because...
Rachel, I'm trying to make this make sense as to why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. I thought that this comic was more in the vein of like what they're trying to do with Thor movies now. So I thought that was interesting. Like the tone, the way it was more lighthearted and joking and stuff.
There were jokes in that comic?
A little bit.
I didn't hear anybody laughing at you.
Well, I mean, no. Okay, answer your question. No, I didn't laugh at nothing in there. But was there jokes in there? I can see where their jokes should have been, or where their jokes they tried to make jokes.
Right.
What was a joke? All eyes on me, or it's hammer time?
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see where that would be a joke.
Okay.
But there was no laughing in that.
I didn't laugh. I cringed a lot, but I didn't laugh when reading this.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think of the right word.
I mean, I could hop in if you want.
Well, yeah, go become
Go
something
for
right,
it.
because I don't know if I'm using this word right. Like not black exploitation, but it's kind of like it's like they wrote this story. I was like, okay, now we need to
sprinkle some black.
We need to sprinkle some black into this. So let's go to Urban Dictionary. Let's see what's going on. He be like, bruh, let's put that in there.
Lit.
Lit.
The kids said you say that still, right?
It's just like they sprinkled all this and then like, yeah, this is the hood.
This is my hood.
Hold on. I was picking up. No, he said, yeah, Asgard is his hood. That's what they put. Asgard is his hood. Then he said, by Odin's fade.
So the listeners can't hear this, but Matt made such a fucking grimace when he said that.
So it's like they made this trying to, I guess, relate to the black people, to where it's like, you didn't need to add none of this shit in there.
Also, I feel like they used some of the terms incorrectly. So I took this screenshot, and Matt, you tell me if this is correct. So this is an exchange between Thor and Loki. I didn't see or hear you come in, Loki. I wouldn't be much of a god of mischief if I couldn't prowl my way into a room. Thor, that's what's up.
It seems like all of this stuff just seems off. Like, It's not. None of this stuff seems like this will be in a regular conversation between actually anybody.
Right.
So it's kind of like just like that, where that kind of might fit, but it kind of doesn't fit.
It don't sound right.
Right. It doesn't sound right. It's not natural. Nobody will say it like that.
Right.
So it's they just did. I don't know why. Like they did it for.
They play urban Mad Libs.
Right.
So my thing is like, what if Miles Morales was Thor, while not good and racist, it is racist. That's what I'm saying. It told a decent story once you got past the cringe and asking questions on how this universe works. Like, why is Asgard essentially Brooklyn? Like the beginning of the story said, the world tree, it was planted in what would be Brooklyn. But when? Because like if it's like at some Dawn of Time shit, Brooklyn as we know it wouldn't exist because that was when the Native Americans lived there, right?
Right.
And it's like he's got sneakers on and shit, but it's like, what? When is this?
And like it was like small stuff to me, like why the fuck does this hammer have graffiti on it?
Right.
Why would that be a thing?
Right. Yeah, that exactly. And so anyway, this comic felt like what a version of Black Panther would have been if white people wrote it.
I said, yeah, if this would have been Black Panther.
If it came on in the 90s.
I was trying to think of, that's what I was trying to think of a good time period. Yeah, if it was in the 90s, we might have got this like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot less black people.
Right.
There's not a single white person in. Oh, why did the Frost Giants have fades and chains
and braids and stuff like that? Yeah,
right.
I don't. What are you doing?
What?
Just because Asgard is at Brooklyn, so the Frost Giants there, so we just gotta make them stereotypically black then too.
Because that makes no sense. Because like if the World Tree's in Brooklyn, they went to another realm. Like
right.
they went to another planet.
Right.
Why are they black?
Right. Right.
So nah, this was a miss. Like Marvel, seriously, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, are y'all this creatively bankrupt that you have a whole series of what if Miles Morales was X instead of just writing a good fucking story with Miles in it?
Yeah, because just like. And another one, it's kind of like just silly stuff too. Like when he called his hammer, he said "Hammer Time."
Right.
Do you know who MC Hammer is?
I've heard of.
I mean, also you gotta remember, like Rachel's younger than you think she is.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I expect that. So really, who's gonna know? Like these kids don't know who MC Hammer is to be like Hammer Time.
Right.
For them, for that to mean something to them.
Right.
Who in their right mind in the last 15 years have thought about Hammer Time?
Correct. And it's like that was a bit of a stretch. All eyes on me. Like, okay, yes, Tupac, but it's like, what?
I didn't catch that.
Just look at me.
Right,
hey guys,
right.
Hello.
Yeah. So I caught it all eyes on me.
And then like all those fucking puns, like when he was fighting, he's like about to flip it and reverse it.
Yeah.
And shit. Like, what are you doing?
You ain't Missy Elliott.
What are we doing here, guys? Stop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
But yeah, so like you said, that if they took all this foolishness out and everything like that, the premise of it is a good idea, but it's they doing too much with it.
I would have been happier if they would have just did like, you know how like Jane Foster, right? She's not Asgardian. The hammer just said she was worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't the story just have been Miles Morales, instead of the spider biting him, he had the same life, grew up in like regular old Brooklyn, and he came across the hammer and he got to pick it up and he got the powers of Thor.
That's kind of what I thought it was gonna be. Like when I just read what it was without seeing the comic first.
Right.
So
like that's built in. You don't have to fucking do anything else.
And then like the preview for the next episode, I was like, Wolverine, Cap, Hulk all show up.
They're all Miles, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be, why are they all black? that was my thing. But they're all Miles.
Yeah. So every what if Miles was X is coming together in Avengers style. Just like how you remember how the TV show What If on Disney Plus, they did an Avengers episode of all those fucking what if versions of people.
Right.
When I thought this was just gonna be a fun what if. Right. Now we gotta fucking fight fucking Infinity Ultron.
Right.
No, we don't need a fucking team up.
And why would you need a team up of yourself in different versions? That's even weirder.
Yeah.
I thought it was like just different black versions of these people, but that makes it even worse now.
Yes.
yeah.
So my question to you two is, do you guys want to read the rest of this bullshit?
No.
You guys don't want to read issues 1 through 4?
Well, honestly, when Wolverine, what was Wolverine's line? I wanted to hit this motherfucker when he said that.
Didn't he say like, this place is dope?
Yeah, I was like, this place is dope. What are you talking about? You just in Brooklyn. You have your own world. Why would you say that? Like, when I read that, I legit got mad. I was like, why would you say that? I wish I could pull it up, but he was, that's exactly what he said. This world is dope. And I was like this. Because the way you explained the Wolverine thing, I'm like, okay, that could be intriguing, but the way they presented it right there, I was like, it's like they're trying to be cool, black, hip, whatever you want to say, and it's just like it's making it come out stupid and wrong.
I'll read the line to you. So Miles, Captain America, said that there's a ruckus on Earth. And so Miles, Wolverine, says, our Earth, bub, but can we come back here? Because this place looks dope.
Yeah. So I see why that they came for it, because this is it's ridiculous when you think about it. Like, why would you? And also, like, you don't have people to be like proofread some stuff. Sometimes when I send emails out for work, I'd be like, hey, read this, make sure it makes sense. You don't think people be like, hey, take a look at this, make sure it's okay. I take that back. The correct people, the right people to read it and make sure it's okay. And when you try to do that, when you're writing for somebody's perspective, and when I say that specifically, if you're going to use certain words, because they could have done this one and just kept it quote unquote regular.
Everybody was black, but we didn't try to make it urban.
Right. There we go.
Yeah.
And it would have been fine. But when you start doing that, if you're going to do that, fine. You want to make it more authentic or whatever you want to say, then you need to have the right people in there to do it.
But I still feel like that would be inappropriate because of like the basis of what this story was. The basis is this is black Asgard.
Mm-hmm.
So they shouldn't have our vernacular.
So I guess
You're
that's
right.
up to interpretation whether you want to or not.
It was unnecessary is what I'm saying, because
Yeah.
like for the universe that they set up, they shouldn't have access to BET and whatever the fuck white people think black people absorb.
Right. That's true. Yeah. So you're right. They would be dressing just like white Thor dresses and the
Right.
Marvel stuff. Asgard there to Asgard and St. Louis, it will be the same no matter what, because it goes back there. It wouldn't be like, oh, they're in Chicago, so they will dress differently, because
Right.
that version of Chicago doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
I see what you're
sense.
saying. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Plot holes in there. Good job, Chad.
Thank you. I mean, I've been reviewing content for over a year now, so
I appreciate it. See,
Hey.
the hard work is paying off, man.
we all here. We all
Right,
here.
right.
We feeding off each other. Yeah, it was some bullshit. But no, so what you were saying, even though I'm dragging this out, I feel like Marvel has been making a big push for diversity. Like if you guys remember All New, All Different, that's when we got Kamala Khan,
Mm-hmm.
and there was an Asian Hulk, and they brought in that girl Hawkeye. I can't remember her name.
Kate Bishop.
Yes. And so like they were just like shaking up the status quo. Ironheart.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, here are the heroes you like. Oh, Black Falcon, Captain America. Here are the heroes you like, but now with like a diversity twist. Marvel, all new, all different. And they were making sure to hire like writers and artists and all these things that were representative of those groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like even though like you got a Latino gentleman to write this book, and there's probably white people doing the art, they probably went rogue on that graffiti bullshit. Just so we're all there. I feel like we do have like people of color as copy editors that did read this shit, but I'm not saying they're out of touch. But I feel like there could be a possibility of like a yes man culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if I say this is authentic to the black experience, I may not get a promotion.
Right.
Right.
Right. That's true.
So there's a possibility that was at play.
Right. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, now they're getting that feedback that they should have got the first time. And just glance on Twitter, I guess the guy came out and apologized.
Yeah.
But somebody should have read that and would be like, nah, man, you need to switch this up.
I just don't get, like, cool, you got a Latino person in here. Why didn't we do, like, Miles touching upon his Latino roots? And I'm not saying we do some fucking stereotypical bullshit with there, or I'm not even gonna say the word that just popped in my head. But I'm not saying we do that. But like, if you get that gentleman, why couldn't he bring in his own experience as a Latino to the character, since that is also part of the character?
Correct.
He did like once or twice. The one female character in the comic, yeah, she said something in Spanish or something.
She said one thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not enough to warrant like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well just hire some white dude to write this shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Right, and you need it because like Miss Marvel, like I read a thing the other day where so much because what is she? Pakistan?
Yeah, Pakistani.
Yeah. So they were saying that how like the person was writing it was Pakistan, but like there's so much little subtle stuff. If you're not like that's not your culture, you wouldn't understand it. She was just like, she listed all the stuff about how sometimes speaking in English and then sometimes speaking in Pakistani, and the way like the jewelry looks and all the like small details is really authentic to their culture, to where you need specific ones. Because like me, I'm watching it means nothing to me because I don't know anything about the culture, but people who know the culture, it means something to them, so they know if it's right or wrong or incorrect or everything like that.
I mean, but that's also indicative of like there not being any real examples of that in our pop culture. But there's lots of there's lots of instances of black things in our pop culture, whether they're relevant or not, we can argue about, but there's more examples of that. So like there's more from some fucking person to draw from.
Oh, this used to be a thing. They used to say oh no you did you did
I feel like didn't somebody say that in this fucking book?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's just I'm talking about those type of stuff. Oh, that used to be a thing. Black people say that. Let's throw that in there. Yeah.
But no, like, I'm enjoying Miss Marvel. Like, it's are you up to date on it?
No. Okay. I think I'm tapping out.
Really? After 2 episodes or 3 episodes? How many you watch? There's 3 out now.
I've watched 2.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not doing anything for me.
But remember, it's only 6 episodes. Now, I will say, I'm enjoying it, but I'm like 95% sure this show is not going to stick the landing.
So, okay, let me say this. I will watch this because
it's Marvel.
Right, and some stuff is going to happen later on, and I'm going to need to know what's going on. So I am going to watch it, but it's not, I'm just, like when we did Moon Knight, I was like, oh, this is great. Mm-hmm. And then when we did Falcon Winter Soldier, all right,
this is fine.
It's there. I'm glad they getting their money while they can. That's good. But with this one, it's nothing to brag about, but it's not bad. It's kind of like, I guess I knew nothing of this character, so I wanted something new, and I guess taking the culture and the race out of it, it's kind of like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
It's basically like a Spider-Man type of thing where you get a power, you got to figure things out. So like Moon Knight was totally different with the different personalities and everything. So it's just like, and I'm just like, I'm waiting for something else to, like, something new to happen for me to draw me in. So I'm just kind of like,
yeah, I don't think that shit happening, but I feel like at least in the finale, Brie Larson probably gonna show up. I can see that happening.
Right. So I mean, I ain't saying it's good. I ain't saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's there.
All right. Well, that takes us to this week's movie, Edge of Tomorrow.
What I am about to tell you sounds crazy, but you have to listen to me. Your very lives depend on it.
This is not
You see, this isn't the first time. Now, we've had this conversation. What day is it?
Judgment Day. You just came in with the fresh recruits.
The invasion will fail, along with every soldier you are sending. We lose everything.
Come find me when you wake up.
A soldier fighting aliens gets to relive the same day over and over. Chad, what did you think of that movie? Thank you for asking, Chad. I fucking love this movie. I have never... Tom Cruise is like one of those actors where he can't die in movies anymore. I don't even know if he's ever died in a movie. That actually would have been a good trivia question, but here we are. And so it's so refreshing to see him, one, die repeatedly, and two, play such a fucking coward at the beginning of this movie. And it's like, I like Tom Cruise. The man's fucking insane and he's part of a cult. But like him being willing to like put his life on the line for our entertainment in all these Mission Impossible movies, making actual actors not only be like the most ripped they've ever been in their fucking lives, but also learn how to fly jets. Like, I admire Tom Cruise for everything that he's done in Hollywood these days. And it's just like to see him be like, okay, yes, you can kill me repeatedly. I'll play like somebody that's just like a fucking bitch ass motherfucker. And it's just like, he's so good at it. I love this movie so much. It's just so much fun. And like, I like a halfway decent Groundhog's Day type movie where we don't spend too much time like, you know, oh man, the day's gotta repeat like 10 fucking times before I understand like, hey, this isn't a dream. Like, let's just get in here, have some fun, hit the ground running and go. And also, Emily Blunt's one of my most favorite actresses. So it's like, there's very few things she's in where I'm like, why, what are we doing here, sis? I love this movie. Granted, some of the time travel shit worked, like when we get to the end with the Omega, that shit was stupid. But overall, I had a good time.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I want to watch it again because I feel like I could pick up on details. Like, it's that kind of movie where I could pick up on details that I missed the first time around.
Had either of you seen this before?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I liked the loop. I liked the acting. I thought that was really good. I didn't like... Wait, are we doing spoilers yet?
Yeah, you know how we are. We're unfiltered over
Okay.
here.
I didn't like the kiss between Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise. I knew it was coming, but...
I don't care for like how most movies feel like we have to have romance.
I agree with I didn't want to. It felt forced. Like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to add that. They could have just ended it without that.
Yeah, it's like it also like all these great things I said about Tom Cruise, especially post jumping on Oprah's couch. No one sees Tom Cruise as a sexual being. Mm-hmm. So let's just cut that shit out. That was like one of the most awkward parts of Top Gun 2. He had a romantic interest in the movie. Oh.
Yeah, but I did not like that kiss. And I also thought, like, what did you all think about the aliens having like they're all connected through this one?
I feel like that's lazy writing, and most sci-fi movies do that now, like Avengers and other shit, where it's like if we just kill the core, then the war is over.
Yeah. See, I think out of all the ones I've seen, this is the most well done one.
Yes.
But I still wasn't sure if I really liked that element of it.
No, that's a really good point. Like, it's lazy writing, but it's also like, okay, we killed like the mothership, but now we have to fucking World War II style, take out all these stragglers. And is that an interesting movie?
But you gotta wrap this up, man. We run out of time.
Actually, here's my question. And maybe this movie exists, maybe it doesn't. But like, would it be an interesting movie? It's a war movie where they've essentially won the war, but they have to go through the previously occupied land to snuff out the last
remaining
bits of the enemy. Would that be an interesting movie? It's that Saving Private Ryan. I've never seen that movie.
No, they're actually going to get somebody there. No. What about take what you said, but it's the other way around?
What do you mean?
So the country A won the war. So now the country B's people are still around. So country A people is coming to kill the rest of them and everything else like that. But what if the point of view is from country B to where they don't know that
the war is over?
Right.
Oh, like is that Letters from Iwo Jima? Did you see Flags of Our Fathers? Okay, please continue.
But no, this is exactly what it was. In Japan, for Pearl Harbor and everything, when they gave up, there was still people fighting.
Yes.
Still fighting because they did not know that the war was over, and there was people fighting for years. Even when they were told, they were like, "No, perfect." It's kind of like Trump lost the election, Biden won, but you have people who's like, no, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you had people saying, "Hey, the war's over." Japan has signed a treaty, and they were like, the warriors and fighters like, "No, that did not happen like that. We're still going to stay here and fight." Right. So maybe one from their thing, because they're not getting resources anymore, they're not getting supplies or something like that. I don't know.
No, I think that would be an interesting movie. Would you want this to be a period piece so that it's Nazis? Although actually, the world we live in now, you can't fucking have a movie where Nazis are in it because we are fucking vilifying Nazis now.
Yeah.
Fucking world we live in now. So
we can just be like country A and country B, so we don't offend anybody.
Made up countries.
Right. But to this movie, I hated this movie.
Go on, Matt.
No, I'm just playing. I just want us all agree. I love this movie. This was my first time seeing it. Yeah. I like a good, like you said, Groundhog's Day, as long as one don't have to do with black trauma. But I really enjoyed this movie. It did get kind of wonky at the end as far as the Omega, the Alphas, and everything. But leading up to it, I liked how Tom Cruise, what you would say, like, he was did not want to fight. And then when he ran away, I was like, that's the biggest punk move. That he ran away. And then when he woke up and then they had him as a private, he went all the way down to an E1. I was like, I laughed at that. But yeah, I agree. Everything you guys said, I really enjoyed it. Like, I'll watch it again.
Yes.
If it's on TV or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really good. And earlier you asked if Tom Cruise has... I take that back. Never mind. I'll say that for the trivia.
Oh.
Well, I had a question about the end.
Okay.
Because every single time he loops back, it goes to when he's waking up and, he's been demoted and
yes.
he's... Yeah, but then the very last time he loops back, it's before that point. Like, it's
yes.
right when he gets there. Is that because he killed the Omega?
Yes.
Okay.
And he got some new juice in him. So one would think that if he were murdered again, like, let's say he has that moment with Emily Blunt and she took a gun out and just shot him in the head right then and there, he would wake up again on the helicopter. He can never die. He has to. That's a really fucked up ending because, like, if he's gonna grow old and live a life, and when he dies on his deathbed, he's gonna wake up in a helicopter.
That was a Rick and Morty episode. Remember with
the button?
Yeah, because he kept fast forward or not fast forward. Morty kept
he kept hitting the reset button.
Yeah. So, but like Yeah.
Well, or is it eventually going to cycle out because our blood...
Unless he gets... Oh, that's fair. Because like he kept resetting within a small amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Could he live longer than a day?
Yeah. Wait. Maybe?
Yeah,
He just kept
so.
dying. That was the problem. He just kept dying.
Well, like
Because
for
it kept going further and further with it.
right, he kept going further. Like as far as they were trying to get to the
Yeah,
cars
so,
and everything.
The time was lasting longer.
But
and longer.
okay, so like he can be out there for like a week and then die, and then he's got to start back over.
Right.
But I did enjoy it where all those times where she was killing him.
Yes.
He was like, nope, this ain't working. And then, oh no, this ain't working. But
like-
I kept thinking, he's going back in time.
Yes. So he has to explain.
But she is not though.
He has to explain all that shit to her every
No,
time.
not
time.
that. But think about all those times that she killed him.
Yeah. Oh,
Her repercussions, like she killed him, and she killed it like in the
Yes.
the fluke. So everybody knows she did it. So how is she explaining that she just killed this dude?
so Rachel, did you finish Russian Doll season 1?
I did.
So something I absolutely loved about that series, and I never thought about it until that show, was they were saying like every time she dies, that universe continues. And so that's the track of thinking Matt's going on. It's just like
Yeah, 'cause I love Russian dolls. Yeah.
and it's like you just killed somebody. And
What's
so-
going to happen to you? You're
Right.
going to be court-martialed or whatever. You just shot a dude in his head, and then like she did it on the steps.
Yes.
What is going on?
Yes.
So I always wondered that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like the...
you
one of the
you can't be
top
murdering fucking
soldiers.
people. Don't matter who you are.
Yeah, but she could have probably said, like, he already had a track record of running away or whatever. She...
So
Man.
so we can just shoot
She
him in the
could've-
side, the courtrooms and everything else like that, because he was once a deserter.
This man hurt himself in training. All right, I'm just gonna put you down like a fucking horse.
Right, like a horse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. My thing is like also like she like didn't even hesitate to kill him during those training sequences, but the one time he didn't have his reset powers, that's when she gonna take all this time to be slow to kill him.
Right, yeah.
And every time he's like, wait, and she still killed him.
Right, yeah.
Why you stop this time?
Right. Because maybe she had an inklet about it. But that's like she's like, when he was on the stretcher that and she struggled, and she was like, I got out of this in like 3 minutes. So I was like, I like Emily Blunt.
I love her so much.
Was she supposed to be American or British in this movie?
British.
Okay. That's what I thought. But there were a couple scenes where I was like, is she trying to do an American accent?
Maybe there were some changes in the script on those days where it was like, you American, and then eventually it's like, girl, just do your thing. All right, y'all. So what do y'all think the Rotten Tomatoes is on this movie? This movie came out in 2014, if that helps.
I go to 70.
I'm going to go with an 80.
91%.
Oh, wow.
This movie's really fucking good, guys. It has a 90% audience score. The critic score is higher than the audience. Well,
Wow.
that means nothing, because if it's an art type movie, the critic score is usually higher than the
Right,
audience
right.
score. But yeah,
Do you have the...
the box office.
Yeah.
I can get it. It made a good amount of money.
Because if it's that high...
Like, so, like, what I was trying to say to you in the car was, like, Tom Cruise came out with 2 sci-fi movies 2 years in a row. He came out with one in 2013 called Oblivion and one in 2014, Edge of Tomorrow. I saw Oblivion in the theater. It was shit. But then I
Wait.
didn't see this in the theater, which I should have. It made $178 million in the U.S.
Okay.
What was Oblivion about? Was that the one where he was... Wait, sorry. Go ahead. What was
It's
it
the
about?
one where, like, the aliens and stuff have basically... humanity's lost. And, like, there's, like, these little... Basically, he's a clone in the movie.
Yeah, okay. I saw that too. Yeah. Yeah.
You saw it in the theater?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember I've seen it.
Okay. All right, trivia. Of the following day repeating movies, which has the second highest Rotten Tomatoes score? A, Groundhog's Day. B, Edge of Tomorrow. C, Palm Springs. Or D, Two Distinct Strangers. Which has the second highest Rotten Tomatoes score? Before you answer, I want you to know that every single one of these movies has over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not a clue, just a fun fact. I actually wrote that so that I remember to say it.
You said Palm Tree?
Palm
Palm
Springs.
Springs.
I've never heard
It's
of
got Andy Samberg and
The mother from
How I Met Your
How I Met
Mother.
Your Mother.
It's really good. Like, you're in America now, so I'm assuming your parents have Hulu. Watch that movie this weekend. It's really good.
Okay.
It's funny.
I'm going to go with, they love Groundhog's Day, so I want to say that's number 1. Number 2, I go with Edge of Tomorrow. If you want order.
Well, remember, I even gave you, well, I actually did give you a clue. Every one of these movies has over 90% on
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes, and you know the Rotten Tomatoes score for Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm going to go with Groundhog's Day.
Okay. Rachel?
I'm guessing Palm Springs.
Groundhog's Day has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Edge of Tomorrow, as you know, has 91%. Palm Springs has 95%. And Two Distinct Strangers has a 94%. So Palm Springs is the correct answer. Why? I'm not playing. Watch that movie, Matt. It's really good. Palm Springs. It's on Hulu. All right, so I got 3 bits of trivia, and then Matt's got 1. This I forgot about this. What year did this movie take place, y'all?
2014.
What year did this movie take place?
The movie take place?
Wasn't it 2020?
It was 2020.
Oh.
It was never stated in the movie, but in the this movie is also based off of manga, Matt.
Manga.
Thank you. The reason why Rita uses a melee weapon is because during her resets, she would often run out of ammo, which resulted in her deaths. So the main character in the manga learned about the convenience of a melee weapon and started using one. And the melee weapon was basically like the blade of a helicopter.
Okay.
And during an early sequence in the film, Emily Blunt punches a young soldier who says, "Bloody hell, it's the Full Metal bitch." The part was played by her real-life younger brother, who had a cameo in the movie.
Oh.
What was your trivia, Matt? How many times has Tom Cruise died in the movie?
Yes, that's the question. You want to guess how many times? And I give you the movie? Or do you want me to tell you how many times? Oh, wait, never mind. That's the same thing. Tell you how many times? Or you want to guess how many times and guess the movies? Or you want me to tell you how many times and you guess the movie?
I never get to play trivia. Is it less than 5?
No. Wait. No.
So he's died in more than 5 movies?
No.
What? Oh, so it's 5.
Right.
Okay. Well, I feel silly. Movies Tom Cruise has died in. Like, so are these real deaths or like bullshit deaths? Because like you could say that he died in Edge of Tomorrow, and you could also say that he also died in Mission Impossible 3.
They do not count that one.
So, do you know what I'm referring to?
No, I haven't seen Mission Impossible 3 in a while.
They had to stop his heart.
Oh, so I guess they don't consider that, but they do consider Edge of Tomorrow on here.
Do you have any guesses on the movies, Rachel?
I have no idea.
Born on the 4th of July?
No.
He didn't die in that? Oh! Vanilla Sky.
There's one.
He died in
so
that.
that's 2.
Gotta go through the lexicon. Oh, did he American Made? Did he die in that? No. I'm really. Oh, Collateral.
3. 2 more.
Oh gosh. Oh, Valkyrie.
Okay, look at you. One more.
Oh God. What all was this man? Let's see.
If you get this, I'll be really amazed.
Did this movie come out in the 2000s or the 90s? Or does it say?
Let's try the 80s.
Ooh.
Oh.
Did he die in Legend?
Well, I don't know. He's not on here.
I'm trying to think what all, because these are the 80s movies that I can think of Tom Cruise was in. I'm just saying these aren't guesses. I'm just saying the movies I'm aware he was in. He was born in his 4th of July. He was in Top Gun. He's in Risky Business. He was in Days of Thunder. What is that one movie where he was in? What's that one with Dustin Hoffman? Where he had
Rain Man.
Yeah, he's in Rain Man. And there's another in that pool movie he was in, The Color of Money. Or is it The Gambler? But it's not any of those.
If you need a time frame, this movie was before Top Gun.
What did he do right before Top? It was right before Top Gun?
No, because Top Gun came out in
86.
Yeah. All right, I give you even given year 81.
Oh, I can't.
I know of this movie, but I've never seen this movie.
Who's in it?
On this, it does not give me the cast, but I'll look it up.
Rachel, if you saw the name of the movie, could you name the cast?
Maybe not for an 80s movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, ooh, I could go to town on a fucking 90s Tom Cruise movie, but like 80s, shit, man.
All right, cast: George C. Scott, Timothy Hutton, Ronnie Cox, Sean Penn, Tom Cruise, and Giancarlo.
Esposito.
Yeah.
Only other thing I can think of is Cocktail. What was this movie?
Taps.
I don't know what the fuck
I've
that
never
is.
heard of that.
Taps in 1981. A
What is it?
military cadet takes extreme measures to ensure the future of their academy when its existence is threatened by a local condo developer.
Okay.
So yes, he dies in that apparently.
Never heard of that shit.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just never seen it.
I mean, I was swinging hard. All right, I don't get to play trivia that often. All right.
You got 4, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, I do co-host a movie podcast,
Right.
so you know.
That's one thing you should know is your movies.
But yeah, so this was a really fun episode. I feel like I might not cut this up as much as I would normally cut. Because it's such a special episode, you're here. I'm only gonna cut the parts where I got a little too personal.
And also get rid of my racist comments.
Yeah, you know I got you,
Right,
fam.
right,
I got
right.
you. I'm gonna leave this part in.
Oh,
where,
yeah, keep
where we
this part.
referenced it. You know,
If they ain't got no evidence to support it, I'd be saying anything on this podcast.
Lord knows I do.
Right.
Shit. But no, this was a lot of fun. Like, God, this is like the fucking dream. Like when I was like, let's start a podcast. It's like we're in the room, we're going to look. Well, we really went off script, but
Right.
but no, this is like really fucking fun, man. It's like I look forward to doing this again with you when I'm in Japan.
Yes. Ooh. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. No, I was like, I got to buy mics and stuff now. I got what?
I mean, you don't have to do all this, but like, I don't know, man. It's like, obviously, I didn't expect you to use this setup anytime soon, but I wanted to do stuff with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, this is why I've spent all this fucking money, like this right here.
Right. And it's easier this way to talk than like when I'm on my laptop, I get distracted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But here, you're more engaged in the conversation, looking and talking to people. Yeah.
I am like, I can't tell you how often I'm looking at the computer and I'm looking at the time, and it's like we're just in it. Like,
Right.
I can see the time in 2 different places, on my computer and on the TV, but I'm looking at you guys.
Right.
And like, yeah, I agree. Like, this is it right
Yeah,
here.
it's better this way.
Yeah.
Feels more like a conversation.
And
Right.
that's how we always pitch it when we're like, be on our podcast. This is just us having a conversation.
And I guess maybe, where it's on a Zoom call or it's on Zoom, so people feel weird about it, where they feel like it's them, where in this environment, and it's a conversation, we can just talk and bullshit and stuff like that. And then it just get recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will say this won't be fun to edit because like I won't have anything to look at.
Oh, yeah. There won't be no clips that you post or whatever.
There will not be
just
clips
be audio
this week, but no, like, God, this is so much fun, and I appreciate you coming out, Rachel, because like I love Matt, and like when I picked him up from the airport, we talked from the moment I picked him up to the moment I dropped him off, and it's like I was holding back today when I picked him up because I was like, we gotta save some content for the show,
yeah.
Right.
but
And also, because some of the stories that I told you, I hear the early stories,
Right.
but I'm like, the people need to hear it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we probably could have did this without Rachel, and nothing against you, Rachel. Nothing
We didn't
against-
need you at all.
Help me out.
Oh, trust me, dear, I will. But no, it's like this is like a different vibe because like if we were doing this on Zoom, if this would not have been as engaging.
Right, yeah.
But no, it was nice to have you and your input as always. You're a 7-timer at this point, you know. Genuinely, always a pleasure to have you here, Rachel. Not sure when you. Oh, I do know when you'll be back, but we'll talk about that off air. But yeah, anything you want to say before we close out? Do you have your shit ready, Matt, or are you gonna say some new stuff?
Nope.
I'm very afraid of whatever you're about to do.
No, the same stuff I always say.
Rachel, is there anything you want to say before we go?
Just thanks again for having me. It's always fun.
Yeah. And thank you so much for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtottalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Used to Talk Pod. Come back next week for an even more special episode. I guess less special because Matt won't be there, even though he's going to be in town. But next week, we are going to do an episode about Stranger Things 4 Part 2. All spoilers. If you want to come through, Matt, come on knocking at my door. But that is the episode next week. It's probably going to be very light on like the usual how you been doing chit chat bullshit. But I hope to have a very engaging episode without Matt. Hope is the key word.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.
And I just want the listeners to know, not only did Matt remember that, he did that sober. They can't hear that.
Oh. I was just about to do it again. Professionalism.
All day, every day.
Right.
All right. We are out of here.